Very nice meeting you.
I hope I hope we're gonna have an okay connection. I'm on my 4G. It's a little bit shaky, so tell me if I cut out or anything.
Okay, so far we're good. So I'm the president of the new president. Actually, I just took over a few weeks ago from Elea, and I guess you've been a member of the community for a while.
A while, yeah. God, I don't even know how long. 2 years, maybe? Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Welcome
Yeah, it
to
started
your presidency.
exactly. It's been great. I actually joined many years ago when it was first founded. It was called KB for Girls
Oh yeah.
by Christine. What was it? And so yeah, we're really excited about this competition, and it's just so close. It's crazy. Like
Nuts, huh? I don't even. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I want to hear. So I want to hear a little bit about you. I obviously read your post, and it was incredibly moving. So you have quite a kite story, but maybe you can tell me a little bit about kind of how you got into kiting and just what it means to you. You know.
Yeah. Okay. I got into kiting about 4 years ago. I learned how to kite in China on this little island called Hainan off the southern coast. And it's so beautiful, like you would never think that something like this exists in China, at least I didn't. And I had stayed in China for a little while before that because I studied Chinese and I had just finished university and I couldn't find any work in Ireland, or at least any work that I wanted to do, so I just like hopped on the next flight and ended up teaching English on this little island off the southern coast of China, which I thought was pretty cool. I was pretty stoked with myself.
Yeah.
But I had never so much as stepped on any kind of board before. I thought I was the least physically capable person in the entire world. But I had decided that I wanted to do something in the water. I had always been really attracted to it, but I had just never had the opportunity. And so I just Googled it and found that there was a kite surfing school somewhere like 2 hours up the coast. And so I called the guy, speaking like my worst broken Chinese, to him, like, can you understand me? And he's like, okay, come up and check the place out. And I said to him, like, I'm just going to tell you straight up, like, I don't have enough money to start kite surfing at all. Like, I can't pay for lessons or anything. And he was like, it's okay. I'm sure we'll find something for you to do around the school, So I started to write blog posts for them and do social media, like my first time writing for anybody else except, college papers and stuff like that. And then they would give me a lesson anytime there was an instructor free. So that took a really long time, and in retrospect it probably wasn't the best way to learn how to kite either, because it took so long and I didn't have like any kind of consistency with my equipment or with my instructor, and so I didn't get a lot of confidence with it from the start. And that's something that to be honest, I still kind of struggle with a bit today.
What's the feeling it gave you that kept you going back?
The feeling of like overcoming fear. Yeah, that's why I ended up writing that in the poem. It's like proving to myself that I could do something that I didn't think I could.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like proper like anxiety every time I was going to, like heart pounding, like Jesus, I need to run inside and like take a shit before I went out on the water sometimes. Just be like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like all the nervous feelings. And so every time that I actually managed to get out on the water, it was like this feeling of like, oh, I'm doing it,
Yeah.
Doing something.
How has it changed you?
Did not think immeasurably.
How has it changed you?
Immeasurably is what I said. I'm not really sure where to start with that. I mean, my work life quickly got very involved in kiteboarding as well, so everything changed.
Yeah.
I started to write about kite surfing. I started to travel for kite surfing. I ended up moving to like 3 different countries for the wind. And I fell in love with somebody for kite surfing as well. And he was the one who really taught me how to ride, and he passed away actually. Yeah. And so that has been kind of all consuming, I suppose, for the past.
Yeah, I read your post, and it was I started reading it like, oh wow, cool, yeah, I got into it, and then it obviously really struck me, and particularly how the fascinating thing for me is what makes us go back, right? Because we've all had our moments, and some are thankfully not as tragic as what you went through, but what you had to overcome to get back on the water. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, well, you read the post, so you can see it was a long process of going back to the beach, and with the intention of going out on the water, and psyching myself up before I got there, and sometimes getting there and just either rejecting it, like ferocious rejection of like, no, I don't want to do it. Don't ask me to do it today. I'm not gonna, or sometimes it was like a meltdown, like an emotional, just like, oh, like sometimes I would sit on the beach and watch people kiting and cry my eyes out, and and it's like at the time I felt like embarrassed and everything, but I think being able to express that vulnerability to other people was a really powerful way of getting people to be able to express it back to me, And the day that I shared that post, I went to the beach. I didn't kite, but I went to the beach and I talked with like half a dozen people came up to me and said, I read your story and I just want to tell you about my story, and then they would tell me about the things in their life, and that was a moment that made me go like, shit, I need to write more real stuff. Yeah. So that's why it was also very fun to write this little haiku. I mean, it's like a small 3-line thing, but in the past years since I've started to kind of get more back in touch with this, I don't know, vulnerable side of myself, I guess, which gets drawn up every time I think about kite surfing, or go kite surfing.
It's an amazing combination of like empowering and also like vulnerable, right?
Yeah, for sure. And that's why it's like it's nice to be in this group where I feel like expressing vulnerability in that group is it feels like an okay place to do it, It doesn't feel like the sort of place where you're just like standing there right. Like, oh my god, please don't laugh at me. Like that it will be met with some kind of warmth or support.
Well, if you think, we have almost 4,000 members, and just having taken position, like I wish I had time to talk to everyone the way I'm talking to you, because it's not just it's obviously just fascinating, because we've all had that first moment on the beach, right? That first like, me kite, really, like, and then I have to kite, and then I can't not kite, like it can't not be part of my life, and then for you to have to overcome something to go back to it. And when you think of when I think of 4,000 members, how we each have our stories, and yet we also have similar things that we've overcome, in similar ways in which kiting has changed us and changed our lives. So how often do you kite now?
Not as often as I should. Like I say, it's kind of an ongoing battle with myself to get out on the water. So the last time I rode was in January.
Where?
In Thailand.
Oh wow! And you're in Ireland now?
We were my current partner. Yes, we just relocated back to Ireland, so it's been a really, really busy few months, which is why I haven't been out on the water yet. But we've got a kite event coming up at the end of the month in Achill Island, this like small place up on the Atlantic coast, and there's going to be like all the European pro riders are going to come and do this like big crazy demo. So I'm going to bring my gear up there and hopefully, manage to trick my brain into saying like, yeah, you can do this too, go out,
So is your partner a kite surfer too?
He is, yeah, kind of retired kite surfer. He's
okay.
He's more into wakeboarding now, and he doesn't own his own kite gear, so he's leeching off of my very well-worn core gear that I learned on 4 years ago.
Okay, so it sounds like you're due for a new kite.
Well, it would be nice, yeah, but then there's another part of me that's like, you don't deserve this new kite. You don't kite enough. Like you're scared.
Oh, those voices, they don't they don't go away. We just manage them better and better over time. So, and what size kite would you need?
I think I go for the 7 probably because it's quite strong here. Yeah, the core that I have is a 9. I only have one kite, and that's a 9, and it's a little bit worn out, but it's still operational. So I'd say get a 7 would stretch my wind riding window a little bit better.
Do you know much about the Diamond?
Not a huge amount. I was talking to Suke a couple of weeks ago about it. And she asked me if I knew much about it at the time, and I didn't. So I went on the website and I kind of had a quick look through and thought that looked pretty cool. I like the idea of the short throw on the bar because that's short go problems. I want to do power. It's too strong.
Oh yeah, we've all done that.
Sometimes I just have to like stop and just be like.
Or like pull it down and reach up for it, right? I know that. So they designed it for as a female specific kite. So well, the 7 meters is yours.
No shit, really? Get out of town.
You did win it. I just wanted to hear a little bit more about you before. Yes, and we're very, very excited. Very excited to share it with you. I love. I'm glad you don't have a new kite, and that yours is 4 years old, and you're due for one, and now you're committed to getting back on the water, girl.
Yeah. God damn! When you told me you wanted to ask me questions, I was like, oh shit. Did I do something wrong?
we had 130 some submissions. And all of us narrowed it down to, as you know, 6. And you're the mermaid with wings.
Oh shit!
And now you have a girl's best friend.
Yeah.
To fly. So
thank you for calling me and taking the time to do that. That's really thoughtful.
Fantastic! I'm really excited. Really happy to hear your story, and happy to hear you're back on the water after all you've been through. And thank you for sharing your story. You know, I know it's hard. I saw you posted in November. I'm sure it was a tough while coming up to November. I'm sure it hasn't, it's still just yesterday, it sounds like. So
yeah, geez, it's 3.5 years, but it is.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But so we're excited. We want to hear all about it. So we'll reach out to you with the logistics after this call, but we want to hear all about it. We want to see you. We want to hear you write about your Diamond, and
I will,
and tell us about your experience, and we'll be in touch. I'm really happy to connect with you. I'm really happy to present the kite to you. And
this is shit. I'm overwhelmed.
So when is this event?
It's the 27th.
What is the event?
It's called Battle for the Lake, and it's run by Pure Magic, who are one of the biggest kite centers in Ireland. And they have 2 centers. They have one in Dublin, and they have one on this island, Aco Island in County Mayo. And they do it every year. This is their 10th anniversary, actually. And I've never been before. I've never been kiting in Ireland. I've never been to a kite event in Ireland. Nothing. Because I learned away, and we just moved back. So he posted something. The host, he posted something on Facebook a couple of months ago saying that they were looking for some kind of staff for their events. So I wrote to them and I told them that we used to work at kite events in Asia and we'd love to help. And he was like, "Oh, I was looking for somebody to work at a kite school, but you guys gotta come! That's great." So
perfect.
My partner and I are going to drive up and we're going to go onto this little island. And so it's like a multi-sport event. They've got kiting and windsurfing and surfing and supping and music as well. Got 3 stages full of music for the whole weekend.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And tell me, before we hang up, tell me a little bit about Extreme Nomads.
You know about Extreme Nomads?
I looked you up.
That's something that my current partner and I started about 1.5 years ago, and Yeah, we met working on a kite event together. He's a videographer, and I was doing the presenting in front of the camera. But I was really writing, you know, that's what I was doing in most of my work, apart from when I was, you know, being a media monkey in front of the camera and like interviewing and stuff. So we kind of took his visual media skills and my writing skills, and we were just kind of sitting around one day drinking a glass of wine. We were like, wouldn't it be so cool if there was a website which was like for people who travel all the time for their sports, for the wind, for, you know, because he does like wakeboarding and sailing, all kinds of stuff, and snowboarding. And then we were like, we could make that. We could definitely make that. And we were so naive going into it. We were like, yeah, we could make that. We could monetize it. That could be our full-time income in like 12 months. No shit, it could not. But anyway, yeah, we've been working on that for almost 2 years now. And
Is it your full-time?
At the moment, it's I'm doing a little bit of freelance writing on the side just to like tide over the financial situation, because I tell you what, like if you've never tried to make money off a website before, it is hard. There's so much to learn.
Yeah.
But phenomenal experience. It's such a steep learning curve, but we're learning so much. Like you don't even realize it. Like people talk shit about bloggers and stuff, but you have to know digital marketing. You have to know SEO. You have to know how to write. You know how to edit, graphic design. So much shit. So it's fun. It's a blast. You know, we get to write about kiting and wakeboarding and diving and hiking and all the cool stuff. And then it means that, you know, doing those things actually constitutes work.
Well, you're a great writer, so I wish you the best of luck. So, so your partner's got to pull out the camera and send us some videos of your new kite, and let's work on. I don't have the logistics offhand, but let's work on getting it to you in time for your event. So, so I'll get back to the board and to Airush and get it going right away. All right. So, so we'll be in touch. You know where to reach me. And you'll hear from us soon.
Amazing. You guys are the best.
Keep doing what you're doing. Bye.
Bye.